All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to explore a theory that, honestly, challenges pretty much everything we've been told about cancer. What if, at its core, it's not a genetic disease, but a metabolic one? It's an idea that could completely change how we think about preventing and treating one of the biggest health crises we face.
I mean, wow. We have to start with this quote from Professor Thomas Seyfried. It's a heavy statement, right? He's basically suggesting that our entire approach to cancer might go down as one of the biggest missteps in the history of medicine. So let's dig into why he believes such a radical rethinking is so desperately needed.
And to really get why someone would say something so bold, you have to look at the reality of cancer today. The scale of this problem is it's staggering.
Just look at this number. According to the American Cancer Society, 1,700 people die from cancer every single day in the U.S. alone. To put that in perspective, that's like a major plane crash happening every single day with no survivors.
Break that down even more, and you get about 70 people every hour. In just the time it takes you to go through this explainer, dozens and dozens of families will lose someone they love. So this isn't just a statistic, it's a constant, relentless crisis that demands better answers.
And that leads us to the huge question at the center of all of this. What if the very foundation of our fight against cancer, our whole idea of what it is and where it comes from, is pointed in the completely wrong direction?
Okay, so this whole debate really boils down to two completely different ideas about what cancer actually is. And believe me, this isn't just some dusty academic argument. The answer determines everything about how we research, treat, and try to prevent this disease.
So here you have it, the two big theories side by side. For decades, the mainstream view has been that cancer is a genetic problem, right? Bad code, mutations in the cell's DNA blueprint. But the metabolic theory points a finger somewhere else entirely. It argues the real problem isn't in the blueprint, it's in the cell's engines, the mitochondria.
So the folks who back the metabolic theory, they point to some major holes in the genetic story. For instance, some really aggressive cancers have no known mutations, and lots of perfectly healthy cells are found with these so-called driver mutations but never turn cancerous. But the real kicker, the evidence that really makes you go, are these nuclear transfer experiments. Check this out. Scientists take the nucleus, the DNA, from a tumor cell and put it into a healthy cell. You'd think it would cause cancer, right? Nope. The cell and all its offspring stay healthy. But now flip it. You take a healthy nucleus and put it into the body of a cancer cell, and it still produces a tumor.
So what does that tell you? It's huge. The problem doesn't seem to follow the DNA. The cancerous programming isn't in the nucleus. Instead, it seems to be in the main body of the cell, the cytoplasm, which is exactly where the cell's little energy engines live. Okay, so if the problem really is a broken engine, how does that actually lead to the out-of-control growth we call cancer? Well, it all comes down to energy. All right, quick biology refresher. Mitochondria. Think of them as these tiny, super sophisticated power plants inside our cells. They take the food we eat and the oxygen we breathe and cleanly, efficiently turn it into energy. When they're working well, our cells are healthy and full of life. And this is how that chain reaction happens. First, something damages the mitochondria. Could be carcinogens, radiation, chronic inflammation, you name it. Suddenly, the cell's main power grid goes down, creating an energy crisis. To survive, the cell has to switch on this ancient primitive backup generator called fermentation. It's wildly inefficient and it doesn't need oxygen. And here's the absolute kicker. To run on this crappy backup power, the cell becomes an addict. It gets ravenously hungry for two very specific fuels, sugar in the form of glucose and the amino acid glutamine. Now, if that's true, think about what that means. It leads to this powerfully simple idea. If cancer cells have this specific metabolic weakness, this addiction, could we exploit it? Could we literally starve the cancer while fueling our healthy cells?
And that's where ketones enter the picture. When we restrict carbohydrates, our bodies can make this amazing alternative fuel from fat. Our healthy cells, with their good mitochondria, they thrive on ketones. It's like a super fuel for them. But cancer cells, with their broken down engines, generally can't use ketones for energy at all.
And this table right here, this is the real aha moment of the whole metabolic approach. It's so simple. Glucose? Yep, both healthy cells and cancer cells can gobble that up. But ketones? Only our healthy cells can use them efficiently. This creates a unique window where we can selectively put pressure on cancer cells.
So the goal of metabolic therapy becomes crystal clear.
You flip the body's fuel source. By lowering the glucose the cancer needs and raising the ketones that it can't use, you create an environment that nourishes your healthy cells while starving and weakening the cancer cells.
You know, what's so powerful about this theory is that it isn't just about treatment. It offers a clear, actionable roadmap for prevention, and it all boils down to one goal: keeping your cellular engines healthy.
So how do we do that? Well, the source material points to some key lifestyle habits. Vigorous exercise, which makes our mitochondria stronger. Periods of fasting, which helps our body clean out damaged cells. Of course, cutting back on processed carbs and sugar that can stress our metabolism. And even managing things like emotional stress and getting good sleep, which we know can cause the kind of inflammation that damages our cells.
And that brings it all full circle, back to Professor Seyfried's message. Understanding cancer as a metabolic disease is incredibly empowering. It shifts the focus away from a fear of random genetic bad luck and toward proactive choices we can make to support our health at the most fundamental level. It can, as he says, take away the fear.
Now, this perspective doesn't dismiss conventional treatments, but it suggests they could be so much more effective when combined with a metabolic approach. It leaves us with a profound question. Could one of the most powerful tools in the fight against cancer be something we actually have control over every single day? It's a compelling idea, and one that is sure to fuel debate for years to come.